Hey YouTube, this is Alexander, and today I'm going to be giving you my Nexus 5 review, so let's get started. Okay, so before I even turn the device on, I want to start off with a little disclaimer. I'm not going to really talk about specs very much. For you spec heads, those will be down in the description if you're interested. And another thing is I've only used this device for a couple days or a few days here, but I feel like I've gotten to know the device well enough to give you guys an honest review, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Taking a look at around at the device, we have the power button and volume rocker right here. Those are both made of ceramic. Very interesting choice of materials there. Make it a little sharp on the edges here, up and down, but it does feel premium. You have a micro SIM slot here, right underneath the volume or the power button rather. You have your microphone up here for noise cancellation. You have a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the bottom, you have a speaker, and here is sort of a faux speaker. It just looks like one. The speaker, I'll go ahead and get to in a minute. The micro USB is just between them, or micro USB slot rather. You have your Nexus branding here, the LG, and some info down here. You have your camera, which is 8 megapixels, your flash. On the front side, you have a 5-inch 1080p display. You have some sensors here. You have your earpiece and your front-facing camera, as well as a notification LED right down here. So what I'm going to first talk about is the feel in the hand. Now, it feels very nice in the hand. It's a nice soft touch material. When I first picked it up, I was just stunned. It feels very nice, very light. Something that was a little bit of annoyance is if your hands are a little bit sweaty or greasy or oily or anything like that. What will happen is if you touch the device, it'll kind of stay on there. So you do have to kind of wipe it off, and it kind of might smudge here and there since it is a soft touch matte finish, but it's nothing too huge. Another minor gripe is because these corners are very sharp here. Now, they're not going to cut you, so don't worry, but because they are pretty sharp, if you are on voice call for a while and you hold the phone anything like I do, they kind of dig into your palm here, and that gets uncomfortable after a while. I kind of have to reposition to hold it like that, which feels a little weird for me, but it's nothing super huge again. Last minor sort of complaint about the back is the camera housing actually protrudes just a bit. So if I want to type with it or access the notification bar from the top, it's going to kind of wobble. Hopefully you guys can notice that or hear that. And that just kind of worries me about this side maybe getting a little scuffed earlier than this side because the housing here kind of protects it. By the way, the glass is actually indented from this housing, this round housing here made out of, I think that's metal. Or maybe plastic, but anyway, you're not going to really interrupt the glass here because this housing out here actually protrudes it. Just a quick note there. Turning on the display, which I mentioned is 1080p, 5 inches, yada, yada, yada. It feels very nice. The display feels glossy at times, and other times it kind of feels like it has a weird film over it, and my hands are usually the same. It's just, I'm not sure why, but that does happen. Another thing to note is that the display does feel very warm. So if you're looking at colors and stuff, you go ahead and take a picture, you're going to notice that this display is very warm if you compare it to how the object actually looks. Now, I found that it is a combination of the camera and the display. So hopefully that can be fixed with software. But other than that, it feels it looks very nice, very sharp, just warm, very warm as well. We'll go ahead and talk about the camera since we were sort of mentioning the warmth a little bit. Now, I know you guys won't actually be able to tell because of the camera and things like that, but looking in this viewfinder and then comparing it with the actual object, here it seems fine. So it seems fine some places for color reproduction, but in other places, not so much. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Oh, first I want to mention, sorry, the camera, when you're in the UI, and your hand is pretty, still to take a picture, I've noticed once it sort of waves the viewfinder and it's kind of weird. And a few times, or actually I think it was once or twice, it sort of does like this motion movement, which is kind of weird. So hopefully they fix that with a software update. We'll go ahead and take a look at the gallery and take some of the pictures that I've been able to get. Now I realize a lot of these aren't, or none of these are actually moving. These are all still objects. But I want to sort of showcase the sharpness that it can get. Now this is here, a little fuzzy, not the best sharpness, but it is decent. It's pretty nice. Color reproduction, like I mentioned, is off because of the display and the camera. Those are a combination I found in my testing. When your subject is pretty close and you're trying to get, you know, sort of a macro shot here, you will see nice detail here, pretty sharp here. It does tend to get a little fuzzy when you zoom in quite a lot, but you know, for sending pictures and things like that, it's gonna look pretty nice. My only gripe would really be the color reproduction and how slow it is to focus at times. How slow it is to focus, take a picture. So those are really my only gripes. In low light, it seems to perform not the best. I mean, it is low light. You can probably tell some fuzziness there, but it's not super terrible. With the flash on, you'll go ahead and get a lot more detail and a lot more sharpness than if the flash wasn't on. But again, it is a phone camera. You know, it's low light. You're not going to get anything super spectacular. Stay tuned for my Nexus 4 versus Nexus 5 video to hear more about the color reproduction and the displays. But that's just something I noticed is the display is very warm and the camera makes pictures look even more warm and really saturated too. I noticed they look very saturated. Something else I want to sort of talk about real quick is the earpiece and the sound. Now this this speaker down here sounds just fine. When you do get to just about full volume or max volume, it will become a little distorted and kind of muffled, but it's nothing too bad. The earpiece up here produces very nice sound, so that's nothing I had a problem with as long as the call quality was fine. Calling on this device, since it is a phone, is just fine. There's no problems in that department, essentially. You can see the notification LED going off down there. But call quality and speaker quality is fine for a phone. Now, it's probably not going to be anything close to the HTC One with boom sound or anything like that, but it is decent and it gets me through what I need to get through. So the LTE, this is on T-Mobile's network. Let me go ahead and clear out of this. This is on T-Mobile's network, LTE. And it has been great. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys quick screenshots just so you guys can know. But here we go. So this is in a good LTE area. I'm in Southern California. And as you can see, I got almost 50 down and almost 20 up. So that's pretty good in my opinion. On a decent LTE connection, you get about 10, 15. So LTE has been fine. I know that's more so with the carrier than the phone. But I wanted to give you guys at least a feel for how T-Mobile actually performs on a good day with good connection. You have, here's Wi-Fi, just comparing it to my home Wi-Fi there with 15 down. So you guys can sort of see and get a feel for how that performance is. Now the battery, which is probably the last thing I'm going to talk about, the battery has been awesome. I don't know why a lot of the reviewers have said the battery is terrible or anything like that, or even pegged it as something less than what I feel it actually is. The battery, I'll go ahead and give you guys a look here. Now this, of course, is with high amount of screen on, or not actually high screen on time, but the brightness has been very high because I've been doing a review and stuff like that. But here you have 62%. It's been on for 5 hours and 8 minutes. You can see some information there. Voice calls about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Screen on time about 1 hour and 15. Anyway, this I have some screenshots down below for you guys to go ahead and check out. There will be 2 posts, 2 links down below. The battery has been very good, and I can actually get through a day with a mixture of LTE, Wi-Fi, 3G. I did put it in airplane mode, so you might see a little chunk of it sort of blanked out. The reason for that is because I'm in class, and in some of the classes I don't get any signal. So I go ahead and put it in airplane mode just so it's not continuously trying to look for a signal in the battery unnecessarily. But what I do is a combination of LTE, Wi-Fi, 3G. I never put it in Edge or 2G. I do have the option. I don't. I put auto sync on off and on throughout the day. Well, actually, I keep auto sync on through the day, and then sort of at night I turn auto sync off. That's for like the Gmail and stuff like that for the Google account. I check Twitter, Google Plus, Instagram, a couple Snapchats here and there, lots of voice calls. And in the few days that I've actually used this device, I've not had a problem with the battery at all. So the battery is something I'm very fine with. Now, albeit I don't use a lot of services here. As you can see, I don't have like a bunch of games or anything like that I play. Which, by the way, since I don't really have test results for that or anything to comment about. But I will say that because of the processor, and the GPU, playing games on here, this is a top of the line phone. You're not going to have problems playing games on this guy. But I don't use it for a lot of gaming or anything like that, mostly social network and stuff like that. So, battery life has been excellent for me. I haven't had any problems here. I do have a tablet. I will admit that in this review. I do have a tablet that I use when I'm home most of the time. But, this guy, for the amount of screen on time you'll see down below, I could never get that with previous phones. So the battery life has been just fine. Nothing to worry about there. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If there's anything that I missed or that you guys want to know more about, be sure to leave a comment, subscribe down there for more, especially my coming up video, the Nexus 4 versus Nexus 5. I hope you guys enjoyed it again. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe down there for more, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.